That belongs in a museum.
Coin Nazoth does not bring any taunts, and that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage on the board. He's going to draw 2 minions. If they're not minions, they're burn spells.
Yep.
So that means he's 1 damage off lethal.
Yes, indeed. And the backstab, for once against Sjow, actually does not get a lot of work done here. He's just going to go ahead and backstab the Councilman by the looks of things so that it doesn't have a good trade on the board anymore and potentially get that damage in. But yeah, there's no good target that he could use backstab to remove damage. So now, suddenly, that adds 2 to the board straight away.
Okay. So the board space issues here prevent him from finding lethal.
Yep. So he has actually whiffed, which means this board being this massive board that Stan's been able to generate suddenly becomes relevant because he has to be a little bit worried about dying on the backswing. But
and try and set up lethal with the remaining tentacles in the following turn is the way that I would try and approach this turn, because you don't lose as much damage that way because the Councilman is able to generate so many damage, because your trades are still kind of generating damage because you get to replenish the minions on the board.
I like it. I mean, Sjow is going to go with a slightly different line here, pushes through. I mean, the part of this that I find dangerous is that the Anubisath Sentinel has that clean trade straight into the 10-4 now, which actually doesn't reduce power on the board because the buff passes over. So suddenly,
oh, the fan of
wow.
knives.
That is a savage fan of Leroy, whether it's Doomguard, whatever's in his deck, and the Soulfire that's been hidden in the previous game.
Yep.
That's all he's going to have right now because he will never get this board back from this point.
Yeah, that's what's so great about Show's previous turn, though, is he set himself up so that he would have the out of Soulfire as well. That's why that 4 damage is so important to set him to. That's why he didn't make as many trades as he could have made, didn't play it as safe as he could have made, because he wants the Rogue to be at exactly 4 health. So he has that Soulfire, Leroy, Doomguard, whatever else.
Picks up Doom. Not too likely to have a huge impact in this game. This is going to come down right now to 2 draws from a Sjow. For Doomguard, Leroy, or Soulfire, whatever the combination of cards are in the deck, he needs them right now. We know there's a Soulfire. That's a brick. He's going to have 1 more draw at it.
Dark Peddler, maybe?
Oh, that is a brutal game for Sjow.
Wow.
I mean, what a ridiculous game, right?
Yeah.
Generally 87% to pick up any particular rogue minion from Journey from Below, so you are pretty likely to get, you know, if you're aiming for a Huckster on turn 2, a Pillager or Zarol on turn 4, you have pretty good odds of hitting it a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's definitely a powerful card, and South Sea Squidface isn't even that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people running it in the deck, at least experimenting with it. Yeah, experimenting with it and then realizing, this is not that good. I'm going to take it out and go back to Zarol.
Yeah, yeah. It's like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a bonus card, right? It's just a nice card to have in the Journey Below pool that you can sometimes just pull out. So.
Sjow is in not a great spot here. He could, I guess, play the high main out there, playing it back and hoping there's no second sap, and we see that there is a second sap.
There's also a Gadgetzan Auctioneer and a coin, which is about as bad as this turn could possibly go, unless we start seeing magical preparations flying off the top from this card draw. But suddenly the pressure of these aggressive minions from the Rogue is getting carried away. There is a third 2 Pillager ready to come down now as well. And yeah, this is just mid-range Hunter doing what it just does some of the time, which is just get beaten up because the deck is just too slow and clunky.
Yeah.
Call of the Wild is going to happen here, but it's just not enough in this situation, as powerful as it is. You expect the Rogue to be able to deal with this efficiently. We see things like Shadow Strike in hand already, and yeah, this is just going to snowball. I think even the double Call of the Wild is unlikely to be enough here.
Yeah, yeah. He's going to be able to remove minions and play more minions and just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
So this Edwin gets to come out as a 6/6. It's sets up lethal with the minions on board. It's just too much damage for Sjow to take. He had a really slow opening, and this isn't a matchup particularly favored for Hunter anyway. Most of the time it's heavily skewed in favor of the Rogue just because they have the saps for your high mains. They have the backstabs and the SIs. Play scared. He played the high main on turn 6, and then he played it on 7, and it got sapped both times.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
But he gave himself a chance, right? If the sap wasn't there, he still would have had an effective play with the high main, but it didn't end up being enough. There was the double sap, the second one coming down with the card draw from the Auctioneer as well. And Stan Adachi